Let us start with the bubble sort here. First, we should understand the meaning of what exactly the thing they're asking. Write a program to sort an array using the bubble sort. Okay, let us understand each and every word in this particular part. Here, the first one is the program to sort an array. Okay, first we have to know the meaning of array as well as the sort here. Here, array in the sense it's not a single element, it's a homogeneous collection of the data items. Homogeneous means it is similar kind of data. Okay, here we have more than one element of integer, or it can be any other data type. It should be a homogeneous collection of the data. So that is an array. So whatever the here in this program we are going to see, okay, how to sort the numbers. Okay, here we have to read the numbers from the user. How to read the numbers by you. Okay, here we have to make use of an array. By using an array we are going to uh, read the numbers and we are going to sort it. What exactly the meaning of sort here? The sort in the sense arranging the given set of numbers either in ascending or descending order. That is the meaning of sort here. So how can we able to sort, okay, a given array? What and all the things we need in order to sort an array? Okay, here if you see this particular part of the code, okay, before that I will just take one whiteboard and I will show you. Here, let me say I have a numbers here. Okay, I have a 5, 4, I have a 9, I have a 7, I have some 11. Okay, this is I have an array. Okay, I can say that there are 5 numbers 5, 4, 9, 7, 11. It has not been sorted. We have to sort. Okay, the input is we have to take the numbers from the user. That is 5 numbers we have received from the user. Now we have to sort this and we have to display the output to the user. What will be the output of this particular program? Sorting in the sense it will be sorted either in ascending or descending order. Now we are arranging in a ascending order. The output of this particular program will be 4, 5, 7, 9, 11. Okay, yes, we know that the output we are going to get like this. But what is the logic we are supposed to write in order to get the output like this? Okay, here, and we have to read not only a single element, we have to read the more number of elements. It can be any n number of elements. How to read the n number of elements? What kind of data structures we are supposed to use in order to read the n elements? Here, in order to read n elements of same type, we have to go for an array. Okay, now the input is the numbers and the output will be the sorted numbers. Okay, here we are using a logic called as a bubble sort. Okay, here how in the water how the bubble come, okay, blows out, right? Here also the same, based on that particular logic they have introduced this, they have given this bubble sort. If you see here, okay, we have to sort the numbers. How to sort the numbers? The very first thing in the sorting the numbers is first we have to create an array. Okay, we need an array. Here, if you see that we are declaring an array. Okay, you know the meaning of an array, I guess. You already studied. The array is nothing but homogeneous collection of data items. Here, if you see that int a of 10 means a is an array. By seeing this square symbol itself, we can understand it's an array. Okay, by seeing this, any variable followed by a square brackets indicates an array. The size of this array is, or the capacity of this array is 10. Okay, the maximum number of elements we can store in this array is 10 only. Okay, and what kind of data what kind of array is this? This is an integer array. So we can have maximum 10 numbers in this array, and we need these variables also. Let us see what's the use of these variables. Okay, first what we are supposed to do is we should ask how many numbers the user wants to enter. How many numbers the user wants to enter. Here the thing is, for that we are using a variable called as a n. So how many numbers in the sense size of the array. Okay, the size of the array is how many numbers the user wants to enter. Okay, that we are going to store in a variable called as a n. So whatever he enters, suppose I want to sort 5 numbers. So the size of that particular array or the number of elements I'm going to enter or store in the array is 5. So that value we are going to store inside a n. Okay, hope you understand here. The number of elements the user wants to sort is nothing but the size of the array. Capacity is 10. The number of values we are going to store is n. Okay, so n can be anything. It should be okay. It should be in the capacity of 10 only. Next, enter the array elements. Once he enters the number of, okay, how many number of elements he wants to enter. If I say 5, then he has to enter all the 5 elements. You already studied, I think people have already studied how to read the array elements. Okay, here the logic for reading an array is we have to make use of the for loop. Okay, see, reading a element, single element is a scanf. Reading the single element is a scanf, that is scanf percentage d. I can write a of 0. So I will just tell about this. Okay, see here we are asking the size of the array. Size of the array, he entered 5. The user will enter 5. So the n has been defined as 5. So the number of elements we are going to receive from the user is 5. Now we have to read those 5 numbers. How to do that? Okay, receiving a number in the sense what reading the number, we have to go for the scanf. Okay, we have to write. So we are reading the integer. So percentage d, and after that we are going to read a okay array element. I can write and a of 0 to receive the first element. Like that I can write scanf percentage d and a of 1, scanf percentage d and a of 2. Like that I can write. But instead of writing 5 times scanf, we have to go for the for loop. That is the meaning of a looping. You already studied that. The looping in the sense whenever you want to repeat the any statement multiple number of times, you can put that particular statement in a loop. So instead of writing scanf percentage d and a of 0, scanf percentage d and a of 1, scanf percentage d and a of 2 till a of 4. Okay, see how to write like this scanf. Okay, a of 1 and so on. It will be a of 4. It will be like this. Okay, so you have to write totally 0 to 4, 5 statements you have to write. Instead of that, what we are doing? Instead of that, what we are doing, we are going to put that particular statement, that is general statement, in a for loop. So how many times this loop will be executed? This loop will be executed how many times? N number of times. If suppose the user enters n as 5, so it will be executed 5 times. Since we are starting the loop from 0, it will be end by the less than n, means it will end by 4 itself. If n value is 5, it will end by 4 itself, because your arrays always starts from 0. So 0 to n minus 1, we can write I is equal to 0, I is less than n, I plus plus. So it is going to be executed 5 times, 0 to 4 times. If it is n is equal to 5, means it will be executed 5 times. Okay, based on n value, it will be executed. Here, okay, how to read each and every array element? Scanf percentage d, and you can write a of I. This is a general. Okay, initially I will be 0, next I will be 1, I will be 2, 3, 4, and so on. It will be like that. So this is the this lines helps us to read the array elements. So what we have done now, we ask the user to enter the size of the array. He is going to enter the value of n, and based on that n value, we are going to ask the user to enter the elements. He is going to enter the elements, and after that we are going to read the elements by using this. Okay, next, after that what? Yes, I read the array elements. We have to sort it. How to sort the given set of elements? Okay, here we are following certain logic here. See, this is a logic in order to okay sort the numbers. How? Okay, what is this logic? I'm going to explain you now. You just consider this particular picture. Okay, here hope you understand. Here okay, the value of n is 5. Okay, the name of the array is data. There we have used the name of the array as a. Here the name of the array is data, and the capacity, I mean the size of the array is here 5. That is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0 to 4 means it can store 5 elements. So n value is equal to 5, and the user entered 5 elements. The elements the user entered is 3, 12, 7, 10, minus 2. Integer can be either negative or positive, that is fine. Now these are the values the user has entered. What do you mean by sorting? What is the logic we are going to do it? See, we are going to do in this particular pattern, we will be having initially the numbers will be like this. Okay, and what we are supposed to do is we have to compare the numbers like this. That is, here I will use data of 0, data of 1, according to your program, it's a of 0 and a of 1. You have to compare the data of 0 and data of 1. If data of 0 is less than, see, here we have to arrange the elements in ascending order. So we already know that we have to take the smallest element to the top, or we have to take the largest element to the down, like that. Okay, either you have to sync the largest number, or you have to, okay, take the you have to take out the smallest number to the top. Okay, both are same, both. Okay, here the thing is, first we have to compare the first two numbers. If you feel that, or if the data of 0 is smaller than data of 1, yes, this is in a right position only. So then this number is smaller than this, that is correct only, so we will keep as it is. When it comes here, okay, let's move to the next comparison. We are going to call this as a comparison. If data of 0 is less than data of 1, okay, don't swap it. If it is data of 0 is greater than data of 1, you swap it. Okay, let us go to the here. Since 3 is less than 12, it is in its right position only. We are not going to swap at all. Let us move to the next comparison. When you finish with the comparison with these two, you have to move to the comparison of 1 and 2. That is data of 1 and data of 2. I can say array of 1 and array of 2. So now these two have to be compared. So 12 and 7 will be compared. Okay, when you say this, okay, since this data of 1 or a of 1 is greater than this data of 2, at that time what we are supposed to do, this 12 should not be on the top of 7. Okay, we have to interchange this. Okay, we have to interchange this. Okay, so you can see this immediately. uh, in the next comparison, you can see that 7 and 12 have been interchanged. Before going to the next comparison, you have to finish this task. The task here is you have to compare the numbers. If it is greater, you swap it, or else you keep as it is. Here you just compare here. Yes, it is greater than the below number. Yes, you have to swap this. The main aim is to, you have to take the largest or biggest number to the bottom of the array. So 12 has to, okay, 7 and 12 have to be swapped. So before moving to the next comparison, we have swapped here. You can see here. So 7 and 12 have been swapped. Next, after that, what we have to do, again you have to go for the next element. Next element to be compared. 12 and 10 have to be compared here. Okay, you may try to understand here. We have to compare 0 and 1, and after that 1 and 2, after that 2 and 3, after that 3 and 4. So that, see, when there are 5 numbers, you know that maximum number of comparisons will be 4 only. Okay, if there are 5 numbers, the comparisons will be 4 only. These one, 2, 3 and 4. See, okay, yes, we have compared these two, and these two have been swapped. After swapping, apply the comparison again. Okay, now 12 and 10. Yes, if you compare this data of 2 and data of 3, data of 2 is greater than data of 3, then you swap it. See, now you can see that these two have been swapped. Okay, because 12 is greater than 10, 12 has to go down. So 10 and 12 have been swapped here. So now we have to go for the next comparison. Okay, that is 2 and 3 have been compared. Next, data of 3 and data of 4 we have to compare. Data of 3 and data of 4 we have to compare here. That is 12 and minus 2 we have to compare. If you see this, okay, if you see this, what exactly will happen? 12 and minus 2, if you compare, 12 is the greater, 12 will go to the bottom. Okay, hope you understood this. So when you do these comparisons, okay, the largest number has been entered into the last position. So that is the, we are going to call this as a pass one, because we have not yet completed the sorting of the numbers. If you see this, the end of pass one, the only the largest number has been entered into the bottom of the array. If you see the remaining elements have, these elements are not yet sorted. Okay, so what you understood from this, if for the pass one, the largest element will be identified and it will be placed at the bottom. Next, what we have to do is, once we found the location for the largest number, we have left over with only these. Okay, that is 3, 7, 10, minus 2. Okay, now we have left over with the upper 4. Now we have to apply the same comparison. Okay, this is the pass 2. See, in pass 1, all numbers will be compared. In pass 2, the numbers will be compared except the last one. See, it has been settled. Okay, 12 has been settled. We are never going to sort it. Okay, let us see what exactly the pass 2. In the pass 2, what we have to do? We have to compare data of 0 and data of 1 have to be compared. Okay, data of 0 and data of 1 have to be compared. Yes, 3 and 7, if you compare 3 is smaller than 7, you need not to swap it. You can see here these numbers have not been swapped. And we go to the next comparison. Data of 1 and data of 2 you have to compare. Yes, now you compare the 7 and 10. Okay, once you compare, since still the 7 is smaller than 10, no need of swapping. Next, 10 and minus 2 you have to compare it. When you compare 10 and minus 2, 10 is greater than minus 2, we have to swap this. See here? Okay, we have to swap this. And once, okay, and you have to understand that the second largest number has been settled here. So the thing here is you should understand, okay, here all the 5 numbers we have to check. So 4 comparisons. Here the fifth number has been settled. We have only 4 numbers, 3 comparisons. And when you come to the end of pass 2, the last 2 numbers have been settled. We have left over with 3 numbers, first 3 numbers. But first 3 numbers, how many comparisons? 3 minus 1, 2 comparisons. So only first 3 numbers we have to sort it. Okay. See, pass 1, pass 2. In the pass 2, okay, pass 1 means the first largest has been settled. Pass 2 means first first two largest numbers have been settled, and we have the 3 minus 2 and 7. Apply the same technique here. Again you are going to compare the 3 and 7. 3 is smaller than 7, no swapping, and go to the next comparison. 7 and minus 2, 7 is greater than minus 2, you swap it. Yes, it has been swapped. If you see here, by the end of the past 3, okay, these 3 numbers have been, okay, settled in their positions, and we have left over with only these 2 numbers. See, when we have to swap, when we have to sort these 2 numbers, how many comparisons we need? Only one comparison. You can see here. Okay, here 2 numbers to be sorted, so one comparison. Here 5 numbers to be sorted, so how many comparisons? 4 comparisons. Here 4 numbers have to be sorted, 3 comparisons. Here 2 numbers have to be sorted, yeah, 3 numbers have to be sorted, and 2 comparisons. Here 2 numbers have to be sorted, so only one comparison. So compare these two. So 3 is greater than minus 2, swap it. Once you swap it, so you can see that the numbers have been swapped. So for each pass, one number will get settled in that particular position. So for 5 numbers, four passes we have to take it. That is, n minus 1 passes is compulsory in order to sort the numbers. So hope you understand this particular tracing. Here, based on this particular one, we are going to write the logic. So here, this number of passes, whatever you are seeing, these passes are 4. That means if the n value is 5, n minus 1 passes will be there. So 4 passes will be there. In each pass, we will be having its own number of comparisons here. What is the logic to do that? See here, the outer loop, whatever you are seeing, is the number of passes. You can see this. This for I is equal to 0, I is less than I plus plus means this is for your pass. Okay, number of passes. How many passes we should have? We should have n minus 1 passes. So 0 to less than n means n minus 1 only. So n minus 1 number of passes will be there. And this is the code. What is this is the code? You may understand that. Okay, we are comparing it. Okay, I will tell you about this one. You just understand this one. Okay, this is the one. It helps us to compare the two numbers. That is a of j plus 1. See, if you see this, see, I value is the I is equal to, this is the I value is the past numbers. I value is the past numbers, and your data of whatever the value you are writing, it's called as j value. So what we are doing, data of j is greater than data of j plus 1. Okay, these are the j value, passes are the I value. If data of j is greater than data of j plus 1, if this is the j, this will be the j plus 1. If j is greater than j of plus 1, we have to swap it. That is the logic we have written here. See, if a of j is greater than a of j plus 1, okay, there we have taken data, array name can be anything. If a of j is greater than a of j plus 1, we have to swap this. The swap logic is this. This I already taught you in the class. By using the temp variable, we are going to swap it. This is the logic to swap the two numbers. When we are going to swap the two numbers, when a first number is greater than the second number, we have to swap it. If it is not greater than the second number, don't swap it. Go to the inner loop. What is this inner loop? So here let us understand the meaning of this. Okay, j is equal to 0, j is less than n minus I minus 1, j plus plus. Here we can easily understand the outer loop. How many times this has to be repeated? This has to be repeated for the n minus 1 time. That is the number of passes it indicates. How many comparisons? I told you the number of comparisons. The number of comparisons depends on the which pass you are. Okay, I will clearly teach you. Okay, why this is n minus I minus 1. Initially j is equal to 0. Okay, and j is less than n is 5. 5 minus, okay, what is the value? 0. I is 0. 5 minus 0 minus 1, that is j is 0, j is less than 4, j plus plus, that is 4 times we have to repeat. When I is equal to 0, how many comparisons we have to do? 4 comparisons. Okay. See, when I is equal to 0, I is equal to 0, that is pass is equal to 0. I is equal to 0 means pass 0. Okay. Here they have taken 1. Okay. It means that logically we are going to call this a 0th pass, 0th pass, first pass, second pass, third pass. Okay. I is equal to 0 means pass 0. Okay. How many comparisons we have to do? Okay. That is number of comparisons will be your j value. So j is equal to how many comparisons means from 0 till j is equal to, or j is less than, now n value is 5, that is number of items are 5, minus I value is 0 minus 1, that is from 0 to how many? 4. Okay, 0 to 4 comparisons you can see here. That is from 0 till 4. That is from 0 till 4 you have to compare. That is the meaning of the pass 0. So, and after that, once you finish with the internal loop, once you finish the 0 to 4, once you finish the 0 to 4, that means the largest item has been sorted into in the array. What we have to do? Go back to the previous loop. That is this is the previous, outer loop. Outer loop, what will happen? This will become 1. I is equal to 1. So I is equal to 1 means what? Pass is equal to 1. Okay. Here I is equal to 1 means pass 1 means it's the second pass. Second pass means what? Again start from 0, and this I value will be 1. I value is 1. So j is equal to 0, j is less than 5 minus 1 means what? It's a 3, that is 0 to 3. So in the pass 0, the value is 4 comparisons. Pass number 2 means 0 to 3. See, 0 to 3. Okay, hope you understand here. Pass 0 means 0 to 4. That means all 4 comparisons we have to do. Here 0 to 3 means 3 comparisons we have to do. Okay, for the next, once you complete these 3 comparisons, your last but one number will be settled, and we have to increment your I value. Here, if you increase this value, now I value has become 2. I value has become 2, and the pass is 2. That means it's a third pass. I is equal to 0. 5 minus 2 minus 1. That is 5 minus 2 minus 1 is 2. That is 0 to 2. That is, you can see here, we have compared only 0, 1, 2. That is only two comparisons. Okay, we are going to do the two comparisons between 0, 1, 2. Okay, like that we are going to do. For the next one, it will be 0 to 1, and after that, it will become 0. We are going to come out of the loop. Okay, here, hope you understood this. Here, the thing is, okay, this outer loop is the number of passes. This indicates how many comparisons in each pass. For the first pass, 4 comparisons. Okay, that is 4 times it will be executed. 4 times it will be executed. For the next pass, 3 times it will be executed. For the next pass, two times, 1 time, and the 0 time come out of it. Once you finish all the passes, the array has been sorted. You will be having the sorted array. The array after sorting is how to print a sort. Okay, we already studied how to read a okay array. How to read an array. Read an array is we have to make use of the for loop, and to print the array also we have to make use of a for loop. So for I is equal to 0, I is less than an I plus plus, we have to print the each array element. You are going to get the output like this. Enter the size of the array. Here n value is 5. Enter the array elements 3, 5, 2, 1, 7. These are the elements you are going to enter, and once it has been sorted, you are going to get 1, 2, 3, 5, 7. Okay, this is a bubble sort. Okay, see here, bubble sort means it is going to sort the given set of array elements in a ascending or descending order. For ascending order, we have to write this greater than only. Okay, for ascending order, if a of j is greater than a of j plus 1, you swap it. For descending order means you put less than here. That okay, that is the only logic for descending order. For ascending order, what we have to do, if this data of 0 or a of 0 is greater than a of 1, if this is greater than this, okay, you swap it. For descending means if okay, if this is smaller than this, then we have to swap it. In case of descending order, we have to swap this. In case of ascending order, we need not to swap it because it's already in ascending order. That is, in case of ascending order, we have to use the greater than symbol. In case of descending order, we have to make use of the less than symbol. That is the only difference we have. So by using this bubble sort, we are going to sort the given set of elements by reading the size of the array, and after that the number of elements we have to read it, or the array elements we have to read it, and we have to decide the number of passes. That is n minus 1, 0 to n minus 1 passes. Okay, 0 to n minus 1 means less than n only, and for each pass how many comparisons, that depends upon the which pass you are. If you are in the first pass, it's a n minus 1 comparisons, like that it will be. Okay, and if this condition is if the upper value is greater than the lower value, you just swap it. For swapping, this is a logic we have already studied, and once you finish the sort, we are going to print the output. Okay, this is the bubble sort logic.